Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Usually we're out working in the garage, but this time we're going to switch gears a little bit. We're actually going to do a craft project. This is one we've been wanting to do for quite a while. It involves using these new style LED flame bulbs right here. I got off of Amazon. We'll put all links in the description for this project. So what we're going to do is turn this miner's light that we got at the local hobby store, and we're going to retrofit it to put this LED flame bulb in it. What you're going to need for parts is one of these bulbs. You're going to need some battery packs. You can get these on Amazon pretty cheap. I'll put the link in the description also on these. I'll explain where these come in later. Some switches, a pair of wire strippers cutters, soldering iron, some drill bits, actually solder for my soldering iron, some electrical tape, some wiring I had laying around, hot glue gun, and a drill. And I'll go step by step on how you use all these parts. Oh, not to forget, we also have some paint. We got some black paint, and we got some matte clear paint that we're actually going to spray on the glass to hide our bulb and stuff. So let's get started. Alright guys, let's start on some first couple steps here. First couple steps are doing some prep work. So actually what we're going to do is, first we're going to take the glass out of our lantern, because we have to get this painted up with our matte clear. It's going to go over this glass kind of to hide the bulb inside. So we're going to definitely get some prep work done first. So we're going to paint this with the matte clear. And actually we're going to open this bulb up too, because we actually have to paint the bottom of this bulb a little bit black, kind of hide the white on this. So that's what we're going to start next. So when I come back, this will be painted. And actually, before I go too far, usually these bulbs here are pretty easy to take apart. Got this on Amazon. Take the bottom off. Actually, we'll do that now. Usually pop the bottom off, and we're going to actually cut the wires from the socket that goes to the part here, which transforms it into from 120 to DC power. I'll explain that later. So let me get this cut off. So what we want to do is kind of paint this blue part up here, right here, with black paint. We don't want to see that inside the light fixture here. So let me get this painted. Let me tape this off, and we'll get this part painted here black so you can't see everything. So when I come back, the step will be done. Alright guys, we got all of our prep work complete. We took the glass out and sprayed it with our matte clear. Turned out pretty good. What this does is actually hides the bulb inside, so you can't really see what's going on inside there, but you'll be able to see the light through it. And the bottom of our bulb was blue, well, this blue here, but we painted the outside of it here black. I actually separated the bulb itself. I'll show you here real quick. Kind of pops out. Took this top piece off. I taped up the LED strip on the inside and did some black on the outside so you can't see it. There's some electronics on the bottom here. We're probably going to cut these off and move them out of the way, because we don't actually need any of this anymore. We'll be powering this from our battery packs, and I'll explain later how we figure that out. But for right now, we're just going to move all this electronics out of the way. A lot of this capacitors and stuff we don't even need anymore. But we're going to keep it on there because this is actually attached to this bottom section here, and we're going to need this because we're going to hot glue this inside our lantern. So my next step is to take all this electronics part off, and we'll show you the next step. Alright guys, next step in the process is to start prepping our lantern. Like I said before, I got this at a local hobby store. It was like $20 some. Actually, nice lantern. So what we're going to do now is actually, we're going to mount our battery packs underneath here. That's going to power our bulb. But first we got to drill a hole through the bottom of the base, up in this part here, so we can actually get the wires ran up through to power our bulb up. So we get a hole drilled through here, and that's our next step. So we'll see you in the next one. Alright guys, our next step is actually going to get a little technical here. So I'm going to explain it to you, then we'll try to get some close-up about what's going on. Like I said, grab whatever kind of wire they have laying around. You can go to a regular store and get wire, but I had this laying around. It has the red and the black in it for a positive and negative. We actually need to solder this wire onto our bulb. This is where it gets technical. This is where you're going to kind of need your soldering iron and your solder. So I will explain to you about where you make your solder joints at coming up next here, but this is what we're going to start. So we'll see you in the next step. Alright guys, this is our next step. I'm going to do a little bit of explaining on these bulbs itself actually. Depending on what bulb you get when you order one, they could have an output voltage between 3 and 7 volts DC. That's what this circuit board does. It turns your AC into DC. On this particular bulb that I got off of Amazon, this is a 7 volt. So when you open this bulb up, I don't know if you can see it on the camera. We'll try to zoom in if we can. There's actually a positive on this circuit board, or on this LED strip. There's a positive down there. And if you spin it around, I'm sorry, let me go back. It's a negative on that one. And this is the positive side. I kind of got some spray paint on it. I'll just clean that off. But so what we want to do now is actually get our wires and solder them to the negative terminal and to the positive terminal on this LED strip light. So if you try to get in there, it's going to be a little difficult for me myself, but I will try to do it myself here. There's actually we can get some solder on our soldering iron. Get that ready. What we'll do is get a little bit of a solder on our wire. Now this is a thicker gauge wire. I should probably got something a little bit smaller, but no biggie. This is the negative terminal. I got the shakes a little bit. I'll try to stay in the light. This is the first time I'm doing it too. So we'll see how I do here. Trying to stay in the light so you guys can see it. I hit the plastic now. I got that side on. Not too well, but I got it on. Let's see how it is. I think it's tight enough. Not really. So, it's on there enough now. I'll add a little bit more solder to it. Try to stay in the light as best I can. But, I mean, you guys get the principle here. There we go. That's a good solder joint right there. Alright, so that's the negative side. And now, let's find where the positive side is. The positive side is right there. So what we'll do, get some more solder. And we have our tip here. Now, I'm not a soldering expert by any means, but I'm good enough to be dangerous at it. Let's get a little bit of solder on our wire first. Alright, come on. Come on. It's hard because this thing's moving and I'm trying to hold it. I think I got it on there now. Let's add some more solder to it. Came off. Let's try that again. I think we got it that time. Okay, now that I got my wires soldered on, what I'm going to do now is test it to make sure I got good connections. So since this is a 7-volt setup, I'm going to need both of my battery packs here. What I'm going to do is get these battery packs set up so I can do a quick test to make sure I did not mess anything up soldering these 2 wires on. So, I'll see you guys here in the next step and see how I did. Alright guys, now that I got everything soldered, we went to actually we got it soldered and I actually got the wires down, pushed down through the bulb itself so it comes out the bottom. That way we can put it in our lantern here. So what we want to do is do a quick test just to make sure our solder joints are good, and I should see this light up. There we go. So there's our fire bulb lit up. So I just want to let you guys know there is a couple different types of this bulb here. It depends on what you order. It's either a 3-volt or a 7-volt. The way I found that out is I actually screwed it into a socket and got my digital multimeter, which is in this bag right here, and I measured the output voltage so I know how many battery packs I was going to need. So this particular bulb put out 7 volts, so I would need 2 of these battery packs. If you put 2 of these together, you get 7 volts. Each by yourself, you get 3 volts, because 2 times 1.5 gives you 3. Add these together. Actually, it put out 7 volts, but 2 of these together put out 6 volts, but it still works. Just a little bit of a volt less. But other than that, it turns out pretty good. I'll let that on right now, just to show you guys how it works. And what we're going to do, I got the wires fed through, we're going to put the cover back on. Try to get the cover back on. Alright. Now we got the cover back on. There's our fire bulb. There's our battery packs on. So our next step is now to actually get this bulb mounted in our lamp, and we'll show you that process next. Alright guys, well our next step is actually get the bulb mounted in the lantern itself. I already took the time to run the wires through the lantern, coming out to the bottom, and next step is to get our glass on. Being that this lantern is kind of hard to glue the bulb into place, what we're actually going to do is get everything together, get the glass on, pull tight on the wires itself, and hot glue it underneath here to kind of keep the bulb into place. So that's our next step now, let's get the glass on. Try to want to keep the bulb from moving around as much as we can in the lantern itself. Now that we got the glass on, got the bulb in there, just going to hold it over. I'm going to pull tight on the wires. This way the bulb will be somewhat tight in the fixture itself so it doesn't kind of move around. I'm sure other lanterns might be a little bit different, easier to glue the bulb in, but we're just going to do it this way for right now. I mean, this lantern's not going to be moved around a lot, it's going to be for show, so it shouldn't be too bad. So now I'm going to hold this here till the hot glue sets up. Then our next step is to get our battery packs in there and get the switch. I actually have a switch for it right here. We'll get that wired up, I'll show you how to wire that up. But for right now, we're going to hold this here until the glue sets up. Alright everyone, now that we got the bulb glued in there, worked out pretty good. Our wires are coming through the bottom. I actually did miss a step. We're going to explain it right now. I actually need to drill a hole for the switch itself. I probably should do that way back at the beginning before everything was put together, but I'm going to do it now. We actually got a switch for this way we can turn it on and off. The way it's not running all the time. So what I'm going to do now is just drill a hole for this switch. I'll put the link in the description for these switches. I got them off Amazon, pretty cheap. Yep, that's what I'm going to do now is drill a hole through this, and we'll see you in the next step. Alright guys, well we're getting closer to the end now. Our next step is actually to glue, well, let me back up here a little bit. I got my switch drilled and mounted. It's ready to go. Here it is. Next step, like I said, is get our battery packs glued in. So, grab your hot glue gun, get some glue on the back, find somewhere a good spot, We're going to put ours right here. Let that set up. Now I have my other one right here. Get some glue on this one. We're going to glue this on the other side. And once we get those glued up and get my wires on the switch, then I'll go through and show you guys how to wire this thing up, and then we'll be done. Hey guys, we're finally on our last step, is doing all the electrical wiring. I have everything prepped right now. I'm just going to show you guys a real quick run through on how to wire this up. Then I'm actually going to go back and do it the right way. Not that I'm doing it the wrong way, but I'm going to do it the right way. I'm going to solder everything up. I'm going to tape it, get it all nice and neat, tucked up in here, so everything is good to go. So what I have here is I have my negative and positive from the bulb itself. I have a negative and positive from battery pack 1, negative and positive from battery pack 2, and I have my switch. It's right here. So the first thing you want to do is we're going to hook these up in series. So grab a positive from battery pack 1 or 2, whichever one you want to call it. Take it to the negative. This is going to make our battery packs in series, which is going to give us our 6 volts. It's a 7 volt bulb, but it should still work just fine, which we know because we tried it out. So negative, positive, one battery pack. This battery pack here, this is the negative. It's going to go straight to the bulb. Okay, that's the negative. Once it goes straight to the bulb, you're done with that part of that. Okay, positive from the bulb is going to go to the positive from the switch. Okay, done there. The only thing left is positive from the one battery pack is going to go to the positive to the switch. This way it breaks the circuit. Simple as that. Real easy circuitry. The only thing you want to do is make sure when you do this, you solder it up, use wire nuts, make sure everything's good to go. I'm going to get it all prepped, finished. I'm going to tuck it up all in there real nice and neat. Then we'll show you the end product, but right now we'll get a quick zoom in on the wiring itself. That way if you guys need to look at it, if there's anything you need to look at up and close, it's pretty much simple and easy to move this stuff out of the way. We'll give it there a couple seconds just to look at to make sure it's good to go. It's very simple, very easy. Alright guys, what I'm going to do now is actually finish this up, get it tucked up in there, get the batteries in, and we're going to show you the end product. It turned out pretty good. Alright guys, we're finally at the end of our project. It turned out great. It was easy, simple. I hope when we did all of our camera views, everything turned out great. Very simple project. I love it. Well, thanks for tuning in, guys. Usually we're in the garage turning wrenches, working on mini bikes. But this time we did a craft project tonight, and it was a great craft project. So, hey, if you like what we did, hit the like button. If you like our videos, please subscribe. We'll have a lot more videos coming out. We have some more mini bike videos coming out. So, here, let's show you how it turned out, guys. And thanks for tuning in.